Okay, thank you so much for the organisers for inviting us here today to present this talk and present this session. We've been here it's been a while since we've been here at this conference in person, since 2019, so I'm really pleased to be back in person. So today I'll be providing an introduction to the journal, to Nature Reviews Cardiology. I'll then provide an overview of how we choose topics for review articles, as well as tips on what makes a good review article. So Nature Reviews, we're part of the Nature portfolio of journals. So what I mean by Nature portfolio, it includes the original Nature journal, as well as other primary research journals such as Nature Medicine and Open Access Nature Communications. So Nature Reviews specifically is a portfolio including 24 journals that spans across multiple disciplines, including clinical, life, physical, social, and the earth sciences. Each Nature Reviews journal is run by a team of full-time professional editors. So it's myself, Greg, and Irene. We are supported by an editorial administration team for all our day-to-day administrative duties. We also work very closely with the art editors, and we act as liaisons between the art editors and the authors to come up with really nice visual summaries that help complement the text in the review. After the review, or the articles are accepted, the reviews will be copy edited by our team of copy editors, and then the production editors will see through the production process. So these are just all the Nature Reviews journals at a glance. So again, it spans across the clinical, life, physical, and social sciences, and also includes two primer journals. There are two new journals that are to be published next year, Nature Reviews Clean Technology and Nature Reviews Biodiversity, as well as Nature Reviews Respiratory Medicine will be published thereafter. So Nature Reviews Cardiology, we're a monthly reviews journal. We actually launched in 2004, so it's our 20-year anniversary this year. We launched as Nature Clinical Practice Cardiovascular Medicine. So at the beginning, our scope was very much focused on clinical research, but we have since expanded our scope to also include a lot of the basic cardiovascular research topics as well. We adopted the Nature Reviews branding in 2009. So the next few slides, I'll discuss the different types of articles that we publish. So what I mean about long format articles, these are generally approximately 4,000 words long, generally a little bit longer, and the majority of which are reviews. So reviews are comprehensive, they're authoritative and an accessible overview of a specific topic. Shown on the left here. On the right here is an example of a perspectives article. So these are on emerging topics. They can be a bit more opinionated, a bit less evidence-based, and really discussing the opinions of an author or of an author team. We also publish consensus statements, and these are comprehensive analyses and outcomes of a scientific or a medical issue, and these are usually published by a panel of experts, whether they're a society or a committee or a working group. And we also do publish evidence-based guidelines as well. And these are systematically developed recommendations that have the goal of achieving standardization in research or clinical practice. And again, are usually published by a panel of experts, such as a society or a committee or a working group. So in addition to these long format articles, we do publish different types of short format articles as well. These are generally about 1,200 words long, and about 2 pages long in the print edition. On the left here is a comment article. Comment articles are call for action for different topical issues. They usually pertain to scientific research or any of the social or ethical ramifications. In the middle here, we've got a clinical outlook. Clinical outlooks, they focus on particular advances in medical imaging, in medical diagnosis or treatment, and they might change clinical practice. And finally, on the right, we've got a news and views article. They're based on recent publications, and they provide a forum in which advances can be communicated and put into context with what's already known about a particular topic. So these are just the 3 editors of the journal. Greg's in London, I'm in Melbourne in Australia, and Irene has just moved to Madrid in Spain. So we've got quite a global reach. So the next section, I'll talk about how we choose topics for reviews. So we attend many global cardiology conferences such as this one, and we've been attending for several years, the Great Wall Cardiology Congress. We also generally most years will attend the ESC, the AHA and the ACC in Europe and the US. At these conferences, we will attend talks, we set up meetings with key opinion leaders, as well as with our advisory board members. So this is a list of our advisory board members, and you can see that they're from all across the world, really good global representation. The few that I've highlighted are our Chinese members, and these are really important for us to foster these relationships with our advisory board members. They're really important for us in providing us with advice and letting us know what they think is really topical research, giving us our ideas on what topics to commission with. So in addition to talking to advisory board members, we also try to keep up to date with the literature. So every week, each of the editors will go through a lot of the clinical and the preclinical journals that we've nominated, and we will try to highlight certain trials or research studies that we think are very interesting and important. So these are just an example of a few clinical journals that we will read through, as well as some of the basic science journals, including Nature Cardiovascular Research. And finally, the last part of my talk, I'll discuss what makes a good review. So the review should be timely. So what I mean by timely is that it's a very topical area. Are there many recent advances in the field that has been published? So one example I can think of is heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, so HFpEF. So in the past, say 4 to 5 years, there's been a huge increase in the number of clinical trials and papers published on HFpEF, both mechanistic and clinical studies. And the reason being that it's actually a bigger problem that was previously thought. So this is so it's been seen that we've published many reviews on HFpEF in the past few years to accommodate and to reflect the number of primary research studies that have been published. Is the review novel and original? So I think with reviews, it's a little bit difficult for us to commission very original topics, because I guess if a topic is important, that it would be covered by previous other journals as well. However, I think we try to ensure that we're not overlapping with any of our previous published articles, as well as any reviews that have been published with other journals, high impact journals as well. Is the review should be authoritative. So one way we can ensure this is by commissioning the review with someone who is a leader in their field, so someone who has published very widely in the field, and that way we can trust that they would be able to provide a critical analysis and expert insight into the topic. So the review should be accessible and to be of broad interest. So it has to really strike a good balance between not being too specialist, but also not being too superficial. And what I mean by that is we don't want to publish anything that's a little bit too technical or a little bit too niche, because there are definitely better places for that review to be published, different journals that might be more appropriate for those types of really technical reviews to be published. However, we also don't want to be too broad in our scope as well, because then the reviews are generally about 4,000, 5,000 words long, so there isn't too much space to really cover a huge topic, a very broad topic. A good review should be objective, it should be balanced and unbiased, and this will our peer reviewers during the peer review process will really help to uncover any biases that the authors might have in their review. And one way as well to ensure that a review is objective and balanced is to commission with someone who we believe to be an authoritative figure in the particular research field, so someone who's been well published in that particular field. The review should be well structured, logical and concise. This is one area where I think that the editors can really help with, because once the review has been submitted, there we do have a macro edit stage where before we send the review out for peer review, we do check through the structure to ensure that the review has a good narrative flow, and we can make suggestions to the authors at this point to make improvements to the review before we send it out for peer review. And finally, a good review should be forward-thinking and inspirational, and hopefully readers of the review would be able to take away some key messages from the review and help to inspire any future research. So another really good important aspect of a good review is creative artwork. So I've mentioned before, we've got a really great art department team. We work very closely with the art editor, and we act as liaisons between the art editor and the authors to come up with these really nice visual summaries. You'll see here that there's 2 images that were published in reviews that were published in the past year. And there's lots of details, but hopefully it'd be very clear to the authors, to the readers, what this figure is communicating, and the figures should really complement the text in the review as well. One really nice thing about the Nature Reviews portfolio is that because they all share the same art department team, no matter what Nature Reviews journal you open, you'd see that the style is the same. So you'd see that the way that the T cells are drawn are the same, or the macrophages are drawn the same. And I think this consistency really helps improve the quality of the figures as well. So this is my final slide. What makes the Nature Reviews journals unique? So I hope I've convinced you this by now, but I'll just go through some of the points. So number one, I think the Nature Reviews really has really high editorial and production value. So we're a team of professional in-house editorial teams. We provide a lot of guidance and support to the authors. Every single review goes through a developmental edit stage where we'll go through the whole review with a fine-tooth comb. We help make suggestions in terms of the structure of the review. We help improve. We might suggest that the authors add some content or add some additional references. We'll help them improve their figures and any tables. And I think altogether this is a really valuable process that helps to improve the quality the quality of the review. Again, we have an in-house team of art editors that help to create these visual figures, these visual summaries that really complements the review. And they're really important in helping to explain some of the more complex details of the science. We also have professional copy and production editors, and they apply higher standards to the composition and layout of the final article. Secondly, we've conducted many author satisfaction surveys, and they've shown that consistently high scores, with 99% of authors rating their overall publishing experiences as excellent or good. Third, I think all the Nature Reviews titles have really wide academic reach. 41% of the Nature Reviews articles are in the top 1% of the cited category, and this data is from 2022. And all Nature Reviews journals are in the top 25% of their impact factor categories. And finally, in terms of societal reach and contribution to policy, 3,400 reviews from the Nature Reviews portfolio were cited by policy documents between 2019 and 2023. So with that, I'd like to finish my presentation. So I did mention this before, but in addition to commissioned reviews, we also accept any proposals. So if you have any ideas for us, any ideas for the journal, whether they're reviews or short format articles, please feel free to contact us via email, or perhaps you can submit your proposal through our website, or you can contact us through our social media channels as well. Thank you for your attention.